All right, so are you ready to dive into this Super Cup final?
Absolutely. This Olympiacos-Panathinaikos matchup is always something else.
Yeah, talk about kicking off the season with a bang. 86-85, can you believe that?
I mean, a one-point game to start the year.
Uh,
It's wild. And this early in the season, too, right? You don't always see this level of intensity right out of the gate.
it's incredible. I mean, both teams are still figuring things out, but that rivalry, man, it never takes a break.
No kidding. And you can tell just by reading through these match reports, everyone was on edge. Every possession mattered.
You've got coaches and players giving these intense post-game interviews, and the fan reactions, forget about it. Everyone's got something to say about this one.
Yeah, we got a lot to unpack, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Where do you even begin with a game like this?
Well, we got to start with the MVP, right? Sasha Vezenkov, I mean, talk about a clutch performance.
Oh, absolutely. He
Yeah.
completely took over in those final minutes. 20 points, those key rebounds, and his shooting percentage, incredible.
Panathinaikos knew he was the danger man, didn't they? One article mentioned how they used an adjusted defense to try and contain him early on. What does that even mean?
Basically, they threw the kitchen sink at him. Double teams, traps, anything to try and force the ball out of his hands.
It's like they were so focused on Vezenkov that it opened up opportunities for other players.
Exactly. And Olympiacos, they were ready for it. Remember that Dorsey-Vezenkov pick-and-roll textbook? Panathinaikos game plan just fell apart.
It's like a chess match out there, One team makes a move, the other counters.
And that's what makes this rivalry so great. They know each other's games so well, it becomes a battle of strategy as much as skill.
And you can't forget about Filip Petrusev stepping up big time with 18 points and 8 rebounds. I mean, that's huge, especially considering Olympiacos was missing their starting center.
Talk about a trial by fire.
Yeah.
He was thrown into the deep end and he swam, didn't he? It'll be interesting to see what this does for his confidence moving forward.
No kidding, especially since he's coming off that move from Red Star last season. Everyone was wondering how he'd fit in, Looks like he's found his place.
Yeah, I found a quote from one of the Olympiacos owners. After the game, they seemed pretty happy with him. He said, the gain from today's game is Petrusev, who I believe now understands that he will stay at Olympiacos and that he will make a career at Olympiacos.
Wow, high praise. I wonder, do you think this was all part of Olympiacos' plan? Panathinaikos focuses on Vezenkov, and boom, Petrusev explodes onto the scene. It's like they were prepared for anything.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? It's like they had an answer for everything Panathinaikos threw at them.
They were something else. But let's be real, a game this close, it always comes down to the wire, those final plays, and of course, the refs.
Ah, yes, the officiating. Those calls or non-calls are always going to be debated.
Especially in a game like this. It felt like every whistle, every jump ball had the crowd on the edge of their seats.
Well, you've got two powerhouse teams, a packed stadium, emotions running high. It's a recipe for some intense reactions.
Absolutely. And there was that one call, the one on Matthias Lesort. Uncalled basket, right?
Yeah, that was a tough one. And then the technical foul on Coach Adaman. Things really heated up after that.
He was not happy. In one of the post-game interviews, he even said, the referees made many mistakes, such as in the case of Matthias Lesort and the technical foul, which then put Olympiacos ahead by 4 points.
He's not wrong that those 4 points were crucial in a game this tight.
Exactly. Every point matters when the score's that close. You add a controversial call on top of that, and it just adds fuel to the fire.
For sure, for sure. And speaking of adding fuel to the fire, did you catch the post-game interactions? Or lack thereof, should I say?
Bro, you mean the icy stares and the shoulder bumps?
Yeah.
Yeah, Slukas and Walkup, they practically walked past each other like they were strangers.
Yeah, and McKissick just completely blanked the Panathinaikos captain. That's cold, man.
You never see that, especially not in Greek basketball. I mean, the rivalry is one thing, but there's usually a level of respect, even after a tough loss. This was different.
It felt personal, like this win. For Olympiacos, this early in the season, it meant something more.
Yeah, like a message was sent. Which is weird because during the trophy ceremony, the team owners were all smiles and handshakes. It was completely different from that EuroLeague ceremony last year. I read it was super awkward between them.
Interesting. It's like there's this whole other level of drama happening off the court, right?
Yeah, it's like we're seeing the rivalry play out on two different courts.
Exactly. You've got the on-court action, which is already heated, and then this whole behind-the-scenes power struggle. It's fascinating.
And it just adds another level of intrigue to this season, right? I mean, Olympiacos, they look unstoppable right now.
They were dominant in that Super Cup, no question. But, it's a long season, and we've seen this story before.
You're right. Last year, Panathinaikos, They were quiet early on, but they peaked at the right time. EuroLeague title, Greek League title, they swept the board.
Exactly. So the question is, does this early dominance from Olympiacos really mean anything in the grand scheme of things?
Or will Panathinaikos, do they have another late season surge in them? It's like, who do you trust more? The team that comes out firing on all cylinders or the team with the championship experience?
It's the age-old debate, isn't it?
Hmm?
And honestly, with these two teams, I don't think there's an easy answer.
It's going to be a long, intense, and probably very stressful season for fans of both teams, I have a feeling.
Oh, absolutely. But that's what makes it so exciting. You've got two incredibly talented teams, both with their eyes on the prize, both with a point to prove. You couldn't ask for a better storyline.
No, you couldn't. This Super Cup, it was just the tip of the iceberg.
It was a statement game.
And after a match like that, a game that had everything, the drama, the skills, the controversy, I don't know about you, but I'm hooked.
I'm with you. This season, it's going to be one for the books.
So to all our listeners out there, do yourselves a favor. Keep your eyes glued to the court because you do not want to miss a single second of this rivalry unfolding. And until next time, keep diving deep.